you'll get statements like, when is the doctor coming? Oh, you're the doctor. You're not what I expected. And you're like, I just explained myself. And so having to constantly explain yourself, I would say to peers, to other staff members, and to patients is something that has become a norm.
Oh, they got the right one. Because, see, I'll fuck around and let them die. Straight up. Oh, you was expecting somebody. Oh, okay. Buy her Band-Aid.
All right, everybody. Well, welcome back. And if you have a fuck you, please send them to us here at Black at Work Pod via email at gmail.com, or you can go on our website and submit those anonymously at blackatworkpod.com. Our fuck you for today comes from Ashley. Hey, Ashley.
Hey, Ashley.
She says, first off, ladies, I want to say I just discovered y'all amazing podcast earlier last month, and I am in love. This podcast is so freaking relatable and hilarious. I seriously look forward to it every week.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So my fuck you is for my soon-to-be ex-job. 2 weeks ago, I had an incident with my manager. Our store policy is that masks are required, and in the state of Texas, masks were made mandatory as well. So we had a couple of customers come in without masks. We called for our manager to come and deal with this situation because that's what the company asked us to do multiple times, but she did not respond on the walkie and just sat in the office. I happened to walk by these guests and immediately felt uncomfortable as they didn't have masks on and were talking with their particles floating all over the place. Right. Black people are dying at a much higher rate. And on top of that, my family is immunocompromised. So I don't want to risk getting COVID-19 and passing it to them. My store is also located in Austin, and we have some of the highest cases right now. I then found out some of my coworkers had asked these guests 2 to 3 times to put a mask on, and they still refused. At this point, my manager still had not responded or dealt with this situation. And I and all of the other employees felt extremely unsafe and uncomfortable with this situation. So I had to take leadership and call the police to mandate these customers and their masks. Once my manager finally comes out of the freaking office, I let her know that I have called the police because these guests refuse to wear a mask, even though they are mandatory in the state of Texas. I asked her if it was a problem, and she said no. I then come to find out that she actually did have a problem with what I did, but didn't address it with me. Typical white girl shit, she puts in parentheses. This just pissed me off to high heavens, along with this company not paying us hazard pay since we are working through a freaking pandemic, working us 40 hours a week, even though this is a part-time job. Incompetent managers and this company caring more about its customer satisfaction rather than employee safety. I put my 2 weeks in. My last day is July 21st. I'm sad because I've worked here for 3 years since I was 17, but I am ultimately ready to move the fuck on. I'm 20 years old, going into my junior year of college, so it's time for me to focus on getting into law school, starting my career, and building my empire. So fuck this company, fuck corporate, fuck them. Anyways, LMAO, I love y'all. Sorry for the long rant. Can't wait for the next episode. # Black Girl Magic.
Black Girl Magic. Come on, law school. Come on, 3rd year of undergrad. That's what I'm talking about. Girl, as Anessa was reading this, I was just like, this is so typical. And the audacity, the audacity of her to have a problem with the situation and not address this shit with you. But like you said, typical white girl shit. That's fucked up. I'm so glad that you put in your 2 weeks notice. And I hope that you got another job on top of that. You didn't tell us that, but I hope you did. And they are so fucking incompetent. We hear every goddamn week how these companies just do not care. And I don't know why. What is, Anessa, please tell me, what is the problem with wearing masks? Please, what is it? What's the problem?
Girl, I promise you, if I knew the answer, I would tell you. I don't understand why people are, it's like, do you want to get sick? Do you want to die? I mean, that could be the only possible thing that I could, say that, is the reason why people are not wearing the mask is because they want to die. Because the CDC has come out billions of times and let people know that wearing a mask is the only way that we can limit the spread of this virus. So, or, another reason could be they don't, they want to spread it to their families and they want their families to die. I mean, I'm so sorry to be harsh, but that's the only thing I can think of. If y'all not want to put on your mask. But the thing is, like she said her family is, immunocompromised. So people that are just so inconsiderate and coming in without a mask on, at least be considerate of other people. You don't know what other people have going on. So you could put your mask on. You don't know if I have family, like she said, that have underlying issues or anything like that. So if anything, put your mask on for other people, like not just because you just, I ain't gonna get it. This ain't real. But shout out to you. Yes, I'm so glad that you are in college and doing the damn thing, girl. You got one more year, hopefully, and good luck with law school and building your law firm. Okay, in the name of Jesus, I'm claiming it.
That's right, girl. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into the water cooler this week. Nick Cannon was fired this past week following backlash for making anti-Semitic comments on his podcast. On a recent show of Cannon's class, he interviewed rapper Professor Griff. You guys know he's in Public Enemy, and he was briefly kicked out of Public Enemy back in 1989 for similar remarks. Now, I am not about to climb up no hill to die on this, okay? I am just Brian Gumble here to report the news. In addition to other comments, he praised Nation of Islam leader Minister Louis Farrakhan, who white people hate. So again, not offering any opinions here because this is a very touchy subject in our community. So in response, Viacom cut ties with him, and y'all know Viacom pretty much owns all the cable networks. I'm not even going to go down the list, but it's MTV, BET, Nickelodeons, all the fucking networks. They cut ties with him, so no more wilding out and whatnot. Now, what I assume is that a lot of Black people, including myself, don't really understand anti-Semitism, similar to the way that white people really can't wrap their heads around racism. So if there's any Black Jews out there who wants to learn me something, please do. I'm not beyond reproach. The point I want to make here, though, and this is important, we see all the things that Nick Cannon allegedly owned and had his hand in and was making money off of, and now that's gone because he's pissed off the white people that pay him. No matter how rich you are or how many things that you quote unquote own, you're still a slave. And I mean, we got a whole segment about how God don't like ugly and you about to lose your job, hashtag, and all of that shit. Well, I mean, they turned this right around on Nick.
I am just, and to your point, half the time I don't even know how to say dang anti-Semiticism or whatever.
Bitch, did you hear me? Did you hear me slow that shit down? I had to slow that shit down because I'm like anti-Semitic. And I hope I said it right.
Look, I'm gonna just give y'all a disclaimer. I don't know how to say it, but I'm gonna try anti-Semitic or whatever it's called. Okay, I ain't never heard of it. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. And I got a degree. Yeah, I said it. I don't know, but my thing is, first of all, that Nick Cannon and Nick Cannon's Wildin' Out specifically, that is a part of our culture. Like, I've been watching Wildin' Out since I was like, middle school, high school, something like that. Like, I've been watching Wildin' Out for a minute. That's a part of our culture. And for them to just, I feel like this is another testament to how white people rule this world. They can literally take the rug up from under your feet and make you fall. Because this man don't went on here. Now, let me say this. I didn't hear everything that he said on the podcast, but what I did hear, I don't know about the anti-Semitics that he went over, but from what I did see him talk about, he was educating us about where the Caucasians actually came from, and that's the truth. They don't teach you that in these history books. They just teach you all about Martin Luther King. But like I said, when our other guest was here, they don't teach you about how we were Egyptian kings and queens and how there are writings on the wall that they're over there taking off, that our ancestors have passed down from us generation to generation, even before Christ, BC. So, and he talked about the Caucasus and the Caucasus Mountains. I'm not going to get into all of that, but most of what he was saying in that regard was the truth. And like most people, I am standing with Nick Cannon, because y'all are not going to get upset with this man because he's on here telling the truth. Now, the anti-Semitics, I don't know about that, but I know for sure he was on there, from what I saw, the part that I did see, he was on there speaking facts.
You wasn't supposed to let Master know you knows how to read.
You know what? I'm logging off that.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, like I said, I ain't even gonna get into that. Throw 2020 the fuck in the trash. And I mean, this whole year has been one fucking thing after another. This news here should make you go, huh? Okay, so after leaving Kylie Jenner's house for a pool party, #what, rapper Meg Thee Stallion was shot twice by fellow rapper singer Tory Lanez. Tory was picked up and arrested on felony concealed weapons charges. There's a video. They say there was an argument in an SUV, and Tory allegedly shot her from the inside of the car while she was outside. I blame the Kardashians. What the fuck is this?
Why is they fault friend? Why is it they
girl? Because every time some shit go on, it's something behind it. It's like what's that Jordan Peele movie, The Sunken Place? What's that?
Get Out.
They are the Get Out family. It's like, why do black people hang around them? Anytime y'all are around them, look at Kanye. Look at this fool. Look what happened to what's his name?
Tristan Thompson, Tiger.
Tristan Thompson, Tiger.
Black China.
Black China.
Jordan Woods.
Jordan Woods. What's the other dude? The other one, Chloe. Was
Odell Beckham. I mean, no, I'm sorry. Lamar Odom. I said Odell Beckham. I don't know how I said this.
Right, Lamar Odom. Like, everybody, just stop fucking with this family. They putting hexes on niggas. Like, I'm just playing. But yeah, like, what the fuck, Tory? I cannot. Well, honestly, I don't know if we will ever hear any details of this story, but this is completely fucked up.
Yeah, and I'm so confused about this story. So I'm glad you cleared that up. I'm still confused about why he even shot her in the first place. But I saw that Meg Thee Stallion came out and was saying that there were some stories going on, rumors. I don't know. It's a lot of he say, she say, but all around, it's a hot fucking mess. Okay,
it's a hot fucking mess, and people posting memes and shit talking about men need to come back like Young Dolph, 100 shots and shit. Like, it's not funny. Black women always have to appear tough and shit. Meg is 25. She's a young girl. She's still in college. She's navigating life without her mom. Like, this shit is sad. And I'm assuming her and Tory were friends. Maybe they were arguing or whatever. You know, maybe the height difference got him to pull his pistol out. I don't know. That's not funny.
You are ignorant, but wait a minute. Look, he said, this is a stallion I'm dealing with. Let me pull out my Glock, okay?
Girl, I don't know what the fuck he was thinking, but that shit is fucked up. Either way.
What were you guys arguing about to where you had to pull out a gun? But I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, so much prayers up to Meg. You know, I love her. That's my girl. She is super, super strong for even, you know, trying to get through this the best way she can. So prayers up to Meg.
Shout out, Meg.
Yeah, so anyway, COVID cases are rising really bad, especially here in the South, specifically Arizona, Texas, and Florida is a cesspool of COVID. Texas hospitals are running out of beds, ventilators, and even staff. The U.S.-Canada border is expected to remain closed because the U.S. has become a hotbed of COVID cases. And of course, the white man's president ordered all hospitals to bypass the CDC and send all of their COVID data directly to the Trump administration as if they know what the fuck to do with it. They trying to kill us probably. They want all the data so they can underreport these numbers or something fucking stupid like that. This shit is getting repetitive, and we say this every week, but do what you can to protect yourselves and your family because your government does not give a damn.
They could give two, you know what, but the numbers are going up, and like you said, it's repetitive. We're continuing to talk about it, and I've been saying this every week, but I'm going to say it again. We opened up way too soon, and now we're just having to backtrack, and I still don't understand why. I know here in Texas, they've started to close things down again, bars, They're, making masks mandatory and all of that, but I don't understand why we're not on a mandatory shutdown with everything. Like, if it ain't a grocery store like how they did in the beginning, if it's not a grocery store or, an essential place that you need to go, then it needs to be closed, period. I don't understand why the restaurant shouldn't be open still. None of these places should be open. So stay safe, child. That's all.
There was a country singer, I forgot his name because I'm not big in the country, but he actually tested positive for COVID twice. And there was a video of him going around. So basically, I'm going to sum this up real quick. He got COVID back in March, went through it, whatever, and then tested negative for the disease. So then in May, he went to a Black Lives Matter protest after he received his COVID negative results. Then he went somewhere with some friends, took some photos and blah, blah, blah. And now July 9th, he was diagnosed with COVID again. Somebody please find this country singer, because he made a very passionate Instagram post about this and how we need to stay in the house. And the people that he called himself hanging out with after he was quote unquote COVID free now have COVID. And he says it is the worst thing that his body is going through. So just take this shit serious, guys. That's all I have to say about that. I'm sorry to preach every week. Anyway, speaking of the fucked up government, Senator Kelly Loeffler from the great state of Illinois is rerunning to keep her Republican seat, and her entire campaign is centered around getting rid of the Black Lives Matter movement. So let me give y'all a lowdown on Kelly here. She is part minority owner in the Atlanta Dream, which is a WNBA team. And when the WNBA showed support for Black Lives Matter, she publicly opposed it. This is the same bitch that was caught offloading millions in stock before the pandemic while publicly denying that there was even a crisis to begin with. So how the fuck does this Bugs Life head ass bitch still have a Senate seat to be running for, period? She should be in jail. She called Black Lives Matter a political organization who embraces Marxist principles and promotes violence. Okay, bitch. We say we want to be treated just like y'all by the police and we're Marxists. Shut the fuck up and go to jail. I'm tired of y'all bitch asses getting away with doing illegal shit. Fuck this bitch.
So how is it that Nick Cannon got his job taken away from him in the blink of an eye because of anti-Semitics, or however you say it? So is what she's doing and trying to dismantle the Black Lives Matter and organization, is that not anti-Blackatic? Whatever you want to call it. Is that not black? Like, y'all can just do whatever y'all want to do. I mean, white people do it all day, but as soon as we go on here and start talking about some shit that y'all do that's fucked up, which is all the time, 24/7 out of the day, it's a problem.
Yeah, and neither Anessa and I are encouraging any anti-Semitic, even though we can't say it. We don't encourage that bullshit. Don't let the jokes get it twisted. The Holocaust was fucking horrible. We've said that in several podcasts. We're not condoning that shit at all, but like she said, like the fucking irony. And I'm not supporting this bitch or anybody that's supporting her. So let me run down the list of companies that donated to her trifling ass campaign. And y'all can do whatever y'all want with this information. Google, AT&T, Sony, Target, Best Buy, FedEx even donated to her campaign on Juneteenth. And Kroger. Mind you, these are the same motherfuckers who rushed to put out hashtag Black Lives Matter statements when shit got hot. Now they're donating behind this. They're putting their money where their actual hearts is. So like I said, do what you will with that information. Fuck that bitch. And that's all I got to say on her.
Well, I'm canceling AT&T today. And why Target?
Target.
That's my weakness, y'all. Target, like I go there to clear my mind and go shop clearance, okay? But work, Lord, work with me. With AT&T, I'm canceling y'all. Period.
Yeah, the rest of y'all can go. But in happier news, this past Thursday, a judge ruled that Monique's discrimination lawsuit, can't even talk today. Her discrimination lawsuit against Netflix can proceed. So congrats to her. I know that was good news for her and her husband. I'm glad that there has been a step in a good direction for Monique. I actually love her, but I wasn't giving up Netflix because they wasn't paying her the millions that she deserved. They wasn't paying me either. Shit. So that ain't got nothing to do with me and Better Call Saul. Okay. So now if you had said Netflix wasn't paying nobody black and they was racist against us all and lowballing everybody, then okay. But other black comedians, male and female, have gotten nice paychecks from Netflix. The bottom line, they lowballed you. So I hope you win. And my little $8 a month can go towards you and Sydney living y'all best life.
Shout out to Monique. I love Monique. She been going through it. So, but she been blackballed out of Hollywood and everything, child. So shout out to you, Monique.
And Monique is not, well, I don't know her, but I believe everything that she has said has been true. All the shit she said about Tyler Perry, Oprah, all of them, I believe all of them niggas is, doing some backhanded shit and trying to blackball her because she is speaking up. So, I'm hoping that she gets a win somewhere here.
They gotta be, because Monique is funny. Like, she's hilarious. Like, she been in so many movies and everything. Like, I love her. So hopefully so. And Tyler Perry and Oprah, y'all need to do better. That's all I got to say about y'all.
Girl, you know how we feel about Tyler Perry. But anyway, we love you, Tyler, but you can do better. Anyway, the CNBC, God damn, I can't talk today. CNBC put out an article this week about how the average minimum wage worker would have to work 97 hours a week to afford a fair market rate 2-bedroom home. This is a lot of people's reality right now. They're talking about a second stimulus check as of 2 days ago. Y'all know we record this on Saturday, it's the 18th. These were the new proposals in the new HEROES Act bill that Congress is pushing, which will include a second stimulus check. So they want to extend the extra $600 unemployment benefit until early 2021, and then give $1,200 stimulus payments for each adult in a household and up to 3 children, pandemic premium pay for essential workers, and a temporary stay on evictions for up to 12 months. There have been rumors, thanks to bitch McConnell, that this payment will only go to those earning less than $40,000, but that was an off comment that he made in an interview. That's nothing that's set in stone, and it's not in the actual bill. So I hope they figure that shit out because niggas is in need.
Yeah, and I also read too, Dana, that's also, like you were saying, that's not likely. I saw that on Forbes that they said that that's not likely. It'll most likely be like how it was last time. But they need to do something because unemployment is going up. And as this pandemic continues to stay here and these numbers steadily increase, people are still going to be in need. So they're going to have to do something. And it's not, I already knew it wasn't going away. I knew they was going to have to give another stimulus check. And I'm just glad that they're doing things to help, hopefully continue to help people because people need help.
Absolutely. And finally, rest in peace to Naya Rivera. Her body was found days after we recorded last week. Super sad story. So much prayers out to her family and friends and everybody that worked with her and her son especially.
Yes, Naya, that is so sad. And I saw a lot of celebrities that we know. Big Sean, Taj Mari, who I think was closer than what I thought they were really close. She touched a lot of people's lives. Tamara Mari, so it's so sad. Her son, her family, her mother, her brother. Shout out to all of them and our condolences.
Yeah, and I also want to say rest in peace to civil rights legend and icon John Lewis, as well as civil rights leader Reverend C.T. Vivian. Thank you both for dedicating your entire lives to uplifting and fighting for our community, helping us get the right to vote, marching, protesting, doing everything that you can. We salute you and rest up with the ancestors. And that's all I have for the water cooler. All right, y'all, for our Down to Business segment, we have Dr. Désirée Jones-Rubin with us today, calling in. Dr. Désirée Jones-Rubin is a pediatrician at the Cincinnati Children's Hospital in Cincinnati, Ohio. She just recently started a fellowship in child abuse pediatrics. She completed her pediatric residency at University of Texas in Galveston in May 2020. Come on, May grad. She obtained her MD and MPH at St. George's University in Grenada and a bachelor's in anthropology at Bowdoin College.
No, it's Bowdoin College in Brunswick, Maine.
Girl, I cannot read today. Before going into medicine, she worked as both a high school chemistry teacher and a makeup artist. Come on, Dr. Jones. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much.
I'm excited.
We are excited to have you. We have so many questions, and I'm sure you have a lot to talk about. So what got you wanting to be a doctor, first off?
So when I was little, I always was a kid, playing with the stethoscope and saying I wanted to be a doctor. And I think really more so the social aspects of being a doctor were more what I was interested in. Like I like the chance that you have to build a relationship with people and be invited in such an intimate sphere when people really need someone. And I always felt like as a kid, I never saw any doctors that looked like me. Whenever I was sick or if I had to have a checkup, I always went to this son and father duo, and they both were white older doctors, and I didn't have any doctors in my family. And so I thought it was really important that people, when they are in need, they have someone that looks like them. And so that's kind of what spurred that interest. I think the part of medicine that I was more interested in was more so public health and social justice. But I knew I could actually be beneficial in the sphere of medicine was to actually do it as a physician. That's kind of how I got started.
Yes, come on through. And what actually made you want to be, narrow it down to wanting to be a pediatrician and working with, children?
So when I started medical school, I was interested in both OB-GYN and pediatrics. And I knew that with both of them, I wanted to kind of explore more of the public health issues with women and children. And I thought OB-GYN would have been a great field for, if I was going to do international medicine, being able to be both a primary care worker and be a surgeon would prove of a lot of utility if you're going into communities of need. And when I went through my rotations in medical school, oftentimes when I was on the OB-GYN unit and we were doing procedures in the OR, I would find myself wanting to follow the pediatrician and the kid out of the OR And so I kind of could tell from that. It's like I prefer to do things with the child and focus more on that. And I think I've made the right decision because I love working with kids, and you still get that aspect of working with the families. So I still get that mother-child relationship part that I'm interested in.
That's beautiful. And we learned last week from our guests that children learn the most and are the most impressionable from ages 1 through 5. So because you wanted to step out and kind of get them where they're, still quite young and impressionable. And it's cool that your patients will be able to see something that you never got to see, which was a doctor that looked like them. So
exactly.
I think that's a wonderful thing. So in recent weeks, we have been seeing, not even weeks, it's been years of Black women dying at alarmingly high rates during childbirth, after childbirth, even before the child could even be born. There were 2 stories released last week. One social media influencer passed away with her baby. She was 8 months old during childbirth. And then there was another woman that had the same issue. What is it that someone like me who hasn't been to medical school, that doesn't know, like, how do these things happen? What are your thoughts behind that? And how can someone like you, what can someone like you do in order to kind of combat those things from happening to women in our community?
Well, as a Black woman who is pregnant herself, I know exactly what you're talking about when it comes to like the fact that we have a 3 to 4% increase in dying or having any kind of complications after birth. Let me see to address the beginning of your question. So I think a lot of that goes back into some of the systemic racism that has been experienced in people when they go to medical providers, and having medical providers who may not listen to you, not having a doctor who's advocating for you. And when you're in the hospital, things that could easily be fixed or addressed just sometimes may not have been listened to. And so I think something that being in the medical profession and being outside of the medical profession, making sure that people are advocating for others and advocating for themselves in the hospital, that's a major way to try to make a change with that. Unfortunately, in pediatrics, like I don't have as much say when it comes to the mother. I'm more so in the room when the mom's about to deliver. I can kind of have eyes on the other side of the curtain, but it's more so the kid that I have my focus on.
And I was just going to say, you said one of the things that's very important when we're in the hospital after birth, listening to the patient. And because I went through that exact thing, and I feel like if a lot of the things, I don't know if it could have, I probably wouldn't have had HELLP syndrome, but I wouldn't have been released from the hospital 2 days afterwards if they would have actually listened to me, because I explained to the doctors
Correct.
multiple times, I was like, my feet are swelling. They were like, well, after birth, your feet swell. All the fluid goes down. I'm like, well, no, they shouldn't be swelling this much. And then my blood pressure and all of that. So I love that you said, actually paying, and a lot of the white doctors, not paying attention to what you're saying. Like, I'm telling you that this is happening. And even my son's pediatrician, she's white. She doesn't do that side, but I told her, I asked her, like, are my feet supposed to swell? And she was like, oh no, usually nobody alarmed me and said, until I talked to a Black nurse. She was like, wow. Then I talked to Dee Dee as well. And, they were like, no, you need to go to the emergency room. And sure enough, I could have died in those 2 days.
And that is so true. And that has been the story of so many Black women after giving birth. And I think in addition to the fact that they may not sometimes receive that information in the hospital, there are times that they're not receiving the information during their actual prenatal visits. And, so they can know, what signs do I need to look out for if something goes wrong? Who do I need to contact? What do I need to say? I think there needs to be more education on the forefront before they even get to the delivery room. And unfortunately, many of us don't get that.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
Yeah. So I guess the common theme here is to speak up. And if you can't get heard, go to someone else. Because like Anessa said, she could have lost her life.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, that's super serious, like what you had. And I know something that I'm trying to do before my pregnancy is making sure I've looked up doctors here in Ohio. I wanted to make sure I had a Black OB-GYN on board, and I was trying to get a doula on board so I could have multiple people advocating for me in addition to myself and my husband.
That's how you have to do it. My cousin went ahead and paid privately for a doula. Thankfully, she was able to do that. But, you know, we need extra people in those types of situations. But I want to switch gears back to pediatrics a little bit. So,
okay.
What problems have you saw in that area in relating to like Black kids and how they're receiving health care?
In terms of that, you see some of the same things you see with adults, and kids not being listened to when they're saying what's going on in the house, whether it's socially, whether it's medically. You see them sometimes not being listened to. And then if the parent or guardian, whoever's coming in with them, isn't truly an advocate for the child, you sometimes see the kid's voice being lost. And now I'm in child abuse pediatrics, so I see that a little bit more from a different standpoint. These are kids who are coming in usually with some form of physical abuse, sexual abuse, or emotional abuse, and this could either be from a biological home or sometimes a foster home, and they're coming in during forensic interviewing and they're expressing something that they've gone through in their own words, and they always have this fear of not being believed or not being listened to, and sometimes this is just what they're thinking, or sometimes it's a parent telling you clearly.
That's a good point, because in a lot of Black households, you break your finger or you break your leg or you hide, it's like
put some ice on it.
For real. It's like, child, you okay? Ain't nothing wrong with you. But then it's like really stuff wrong with you. I feel like we do that a lot. Black moms or parents, they do not listen to their kids when their kid says, "Oh, mama, I have a headache," or "I'm sleepy a lot," and they could have,
go lay down. Put some Vaseline on it.
Exactly.
Girl, when I say that's their answer for everything, like, "Oh no, you okay? Ain't nothing wrong with you." Like, my son had a fever, and I felt how hot he was. And his dad just like, he okay, like he tired. I'm like, see, so he's hot because he's tired? Sure enough, he had a fever. Like, so it's just like Black parents, I don't know if that's just something in our community, but we just don't listen to our kids when we say that there's something wrong.
Yes, and I don't think it comes from a bad place at all. I think it's sometimes what we've experienced and what we've seen. When it's truly serious, it'll be bad enough, and that whatever you're going through at this point will most likely pass, which is often true a lot of the time. But I think it goes back to even more experiences that both the child and the guardian had throughout their life. Because when they look at some of those adverse childhood experiences, that plays a big part into how the health outcomes of the kid is going to be in the long term, and the immediate responses to daily life things in the house. And some of those things could be like domestic violence. It could be a parent with a mental health condition. It could be the fact that you didn't even have the education of what health conditions to look out for, or know what could be happening as a repercussion. A member of your household being in prison, growing up in a household where adults experience alcohol and drug use problems. Like, there's so much that goes on into the experience of what a child sees, and of course their parents too.
And so much. And also there's historical trauma there too, because I was raised by someone who there was no colored hospital within a 10-mile radius of where my mom grew up. So you wasn't going to the doctor unless your finger was falling complete. Like, I had to see bone, gristle, that type of thing. So it's like there's reasons why we end up the way that we are. It just goes back and back and back to that historical trauma that we've experienced just trying to get by in this country.
Very true.
Exactly.
So switching gears here and to continue the conversation, since we are Black at work, Dr. Jones, please tell us, or do you have a story or anything in regards to on this journey of becoming a Black girl magic doctor, where you've experienced, racism or microaggressions? Can you tell us anything that has happened while you've been on this journey?
Luckily, I haven't experienced a lot of overt racism, but I have experienced a lot of microaggressions. And one of the incidents that I remember was on the inpatient wards. And at that time, I was the senior resident that was responsible for 2 interns and 3 to 4 medical students. And part of the medical students' responsibility was to take an observed medical history of new patients that were coming. And since we had a new patient that was on the floor, I told the student, of course you can come in and take the history and I'll give you some feedback. And as he was getting his stuff together, I was like, I'll meet you in the patient's room. And so when I got to the patient's room, it was a mom, dad, the child, and a grandfather. And then he joined me in the middle of that introduction, and I heard the father rush off the phone and say, "Oh, the doctor has arrived." And everyone's eyes in the room kind of took attention to the student. And the student happened to be a white male who was over 6 feet, dressed in business casual attire. And they were looking to him kind of as the doctor in the room, even though I'm there and I just introduced myself in white coat and stethoscope as the doctor. And I'm sitting there and the student, he's a little bit flushed and he's like, "Oh, I'm just a student." And here I am again having to say, "As your doctor today," and you can just kind of see their facial reactions as they're like, "Oh wait, this is the doctor," and kind of having to like jolt their attention back to me. And sadly, I think that's the experience of many Black doctors, is always being mistaken for support staff, nurses. It's never assumed that you are in the position as the doctor. Like I can remember being in the clinic or on the inpatient settings, you'll get statements like, "When is the doctor coming? Oh, you're the doctor. You're not what I expected. Oh, you went to medical school to be a nurse." And you're like, I just explained myself. And so having to constantly explain yourself, I would say to peers, to other staff members, and to patients, is something that has become a norm.
Oh, they got the right one. Cause see, I'll fuck around and let them die. Straight up. You was expecting somebody. Oh, okay. Buy her Band-Aid.
Like that is ridiculous. Can you imagine like being a doctor, working as hard as you worked, going to school for 17 years of your like okay, I ain't gonna say that.
I know.
I'm too petty to be a doctor. I've been like, oh, okay, y'all can just die in this room. Bye.
Jada, exactly. Wait a minute, you say you gonna let them die? Oh, so that's what you want to do? Okay, well I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna let the intern handle you. Okay, since you don't want me to be here.
Yeah, here, Brad. Here.
And it's hard, and you have to be the bigger person in the room and say, as I said, as your doctor, this is what the plan is for today. So it takes a lot of thick skin and being the bigger person in the room and re-educating, because I get it that people have an image in their head and you have some type of cognitive dissonance when you see something that doesn't fulfill what you thought was supposed to be a doctor. So living through that is definitely different.
I would have had a totally different reaction if I was in the room and you walked in and was like, "I'm the doctor." I was like, "Oh, thank God."
Y'all, once again, I'm logging off because I cannot deal with Dana. Wait a minute, right? Well, look, she walk in, she my doctor. I'll be like, "Yes, and how old are you? Black girl magic." Come on.
I'm be like, "Come on, doctor, sew me back up." Yes.
I like walking in those rooms.
That is a mess. We're ignorant. No, we're ignorant. But I was going to ask about your fellowship in child abuse pediatrics. Can you kind of tell us about that? How did that get started? Or, can you explain to us what that is?
Okay, yes. So I just started in child abuse pediatrics, and it's a field that not many people know about in medicine, let alone people outside of medicine. But what it is that you are a medical consult for other physicians and for basically law force. And what it is, you let them know if a case is possibly secondary to child abuse, or if it's not looking likely to be child abuse, or if it's related to another medical condition. This could be something about sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse. If there's a question of that in the air, there's a certain workups that we do in terms of labs and imaging, just to see if there's anything that looks suspicious that could guide you in a certain direction. And it's not always one that guides you in the direction of abuse. It could be this child has brain cancer, and that's why they're having these developmental delays, or why they have this certain medical condition going on. It could be a child with fractures, and maybe they have a certain bone disease that the parents weren't aware of, and you can sometimes bring that to light. And then sometimes it is a case where something does look very suspicious for child abuse, and you have imaging, you have labs to support it, and then you have a child who's coming forward and making a disclosure during a forensic interview. And then those are some of the cases where you feel like your objective view in medicine kind of helps with the actual legal case that maybe leads to the alleged perpetrator being incarcerated. So that's kind of what we do in a nutshell.
And that's important, great work, because we don't need kids out here seriously being abused, and we need somebody just like you who can speak up for these kids. Like you said earlier, they don't have the capacity to speak up for themselves. But before we go, I did want to touch on one of your many talents, being a makeup artist. We mentioned.
Oh my God.
What got you into that? Like how, like doctor, makeup artist, I know that us women, us Black women, we're so talented and multifaceted, but what got you into makeup, and what made you want to do that in addition to healthcare?
So when I finished my undergraduate degree, I knew I wanted to do something in the meantime before medicine, whether it was teaching or whether it was doing service work abroad. And so what I had chose to do was to be a teacher. And so I was a teacher out in Carrollton in the Dallas area. I'm pretty sure you know where that is. And
yes, we do.
You're out there. And at that time in my apartment complex, there was a beautiful lady who sold Mary Kay products, and she swept me in to her Mary Kay world, and I started selling it too. And when I was doing it, I realized the part that I loved doing was actually working with the women and like building self-confidence and doing the makeup portion more so than the selling of products. And so then I went ahead and got my license in doing makeup, so I could do it for like events. I did it for people's birthday parties. I did it for weddings. And so I really enjoyed that part about making women feel beautiful and being able to do something with my hands like that, something that comes innately. And whereas medicine for me, it was always a bit of a challenge going through sciences, and makeup just comes with ease, and it's something I enjoy doing.
Well, I sure wish I would have known that you could do my makeup for the baby shower. I was kidding.
Dr. Dee, you are the shit to me. That is dope. And what I'm getting from you, just from this interview, is just like you just like to care for people. You like to uplift people. You like to make people feel good. And you are an awesome human just from doing that. Girl, you didn't got certified in makeup. Look.
Right.
I'm over here like, I ain't doing shit with my life.
Right. She done went to school. She went to school for years, and then also got her makeup license. Like, what we doing? Okay, let's do more, everybody. No.
Oh, okay, everybody, do more. but thank you so much, Dr. Dee, for being on the show. Did you want to promote your Instagram, your social media pages?
Oh, yeah. So my Instagram is Dr._Desiree Monique. Please feel free to come over to my page. I'm going to start trying to promote more kind of like lifestyle and seeing what it's like to be a Black doctor, and especially what it's like to be a Black doctor in child disease pediatrics. We Black doctors only represent 2% of the medical field. So any insight into our lives and how you can reduce the mystique of a doctor. We're just people and we like to have fun and have lots of hobbies. I think any kind of insight you can get into that, you should definitely check out Instagram pages of me and any other Black doctors that are out there, because there are some that are popping and there's a lot of pages that are coming out, and I think it's good for other people to see what we're all about.
Awesome. Well,
An angel on earth. Thank you, Dr. D.
Yes, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank y'all for having me.
It's time for the break room.
It's the break room. It's the break room. What you gonna do? Girl, we finna spill all the tea.
Hey, it's the break room. It's the break room.
All right, y'all. Well, in TV news and drama, so much going on, or so much that has gone on. Brashard, I might be saying his name wrong, but hey, Brashear Gray from Empire was arrested this past week for domestic violence charges for strangling his wife. Is he think he on Empire reading his script again, or what he got going on?
I mean, are you fucking serious? First of all, I didn't even know he was married. Secondly,
me either.
You strangled your wife. Okay.
So yeah, he's crazy, obviously, in real life. I didn't finish watching Empire. Empire got a little too dramatic for me, so I stopped watching it. But I know it's no longer on. But I guess a lot of these celebrities are just have nothing to do right now, so I guess they're choosing other avenues. But in other
abuse is your other avenue. You ain't got shit else to do. You gonna choke a hoe? Okay. You know, I'm really, really policing what I have to say about this as a victim of, or not a victim, I'm a survivor of domestic violence. I don't find this cool at all. Whatever the backstory is, if you're a grown-ass adult, you don't have no fucking business putting your hands on another grown-ass adult. And that's if you are male, female, Black, white, orange, brown, straight, gay, bi, trans, whatever. Keep your fucking hands to yourself.
That's right. And yeah, I was not trying to say, I'm sorry y'all for saying he ain't got nothing else to do, because he don't need to be putting his hands on. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know what he was thinking, or I don't know the backstory either, but I just know he is ridiculous. So I'm going to move on from him. In other news, Tamara is moving on from The Real. Now, she came onto social media and just basically said that she's moving on to different endeavors. Basically, she's done her part and now she's moving on. This is the second person, child. What's going on at The Real? Okay, first it was Amanda. Well, no, let me go down the list. First it was Tamar, but I mean, they said Tamar was fired. Then Amanda left, but I know why Amanda left, because Amanda was too real for The Real. And now Tamara is leaving, and I actually love Tamara. I don't know if there's something underlying going on at The Real or what, but Tamara said, I'm going to take my bags and I'm about to go ahead and mosey on down the hill.
Well, she probably know that this show is about to be axed, because ain't nothing real about The Real. We've already talked about this in a previous break room, but they are real fake. The topics that they talk about be bullshit. I don't like none of their opinions. They whack. So I like Tamara. I like her and her sister. Again, I'm policing the hell out of my comments here, because I just feel like this show was just after Tamar left. So, you know, congrats to you for making that decision. I don't think that we'll be seeing too much more of The Real after this.
I agree. I think she knew too. And she's just like, let me go ahead and move on right now. Tamara's very talented, her and her sister. So she'll definitely have, we'll see her soon. But anyways, y'all, Dana, she been called it, okay? Because Princess Love from Love and Hip Hop Hollywood files to dismiss the divorce against Ray J.
Oh Oh my God. I'm so shocked, Anessa. Oh my goodness. This is like the hottest news this week.
Y'all, I thought it was real. But you know what? So the next time they out here cloud chasing via lives and Zeus conversations, I'm just going to ignore them. Because like I said, Dana Ben said this, but following in their footsteps are their fellow co-stars, A1 and Lyrica, also from Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, who are also going to be doing a sit down or having a conversation about their issues. But I don't care. I don't have Zeus. We still waiting on our logins. And even if y'all did send me a login, I still ain't gonna log in to see that bull. So
everybody is broke and in quarantine. All of y'all favorite celebrities are grasping at straws right now because they have these huge, magnificent, expensive lives, and they were only able to keep that shit going due to touring and album releases. And now they're not doing that shit no more. So niggas is trying to figure out other ways to get money. Let's put our business and our personal life and our marriage on the line here. We're that desperate. I'm not putting it past none of these niggas. If that's how y'all gonna get your money up, I ain't hating on it.
Period. You said it. They don't got no money coming in, so they trying to figure stuff out. So now they going on Zeus. Zeus gonna pay them a little $5,000 check. I don't know that for sure, but can't be that much. And they're gonna use your ducats to do so. So do what you please. I don't know. Y'all can send us some DMs in the on Black at Work at Black at Work on Instagram. Let me know how it is.
Yeah, tell us what happened.
But on to an RHOA update and just Real Housewives of Atlanta news, period. Our dear Portia was arrested this week for protesting on Breonna Taylor's behalf to have the police who killed her arrested. Okay, her and 87 or 100 others were protesting on the Attorney General's property in Louisville, Kentucky. If you don't know, and I know we have brought it up on the show billions of times, but his name that I really don't want to say, but I'll go ahead and say it, is Daniel Cameron. And yes, co-workers, he is one of our cousins. Well, he ain't one of our cousins. He's Black. And as far as I'm concerned, a disgrace to the culture. I mean,
a complete disgrace. This motherfucker was having an engagement party the weekend that a lot of these protests for Breonna Taylor kicked off, and he up here celebrating life while this young lady, who we just found out she was, I don't mean to veer off subject in this, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're good.
We just found out that after they shot her 8 times, she actually lived for about 8 minutes, and they let her lay there for 20 minutes before even offering medical support. So fuck this man, fuck his raggedy ass, what is his fiance? Fuck that bitch, fuck him. Fuck all of them. Shout out to Portia. Shout out to everybody that's continuing to protest this stupid fucking madness. It's a shame that we even have to protest these things. We even had to protest to get the people that killed Ahmaud Arbery charged, and those weren't even cops. They don't give a fuck about us. So again, shout out to Precious. Shout out to Portia for doing the right thing, getting out there, and I'm sorry that she got arrested, but apparently she's following in her granddaddy's footsteps. So
right, she is. And this man, Daniel Cameron, who is a disgrace, I can't even begin to let you guys know how disgusted I am with him. But he also upgraded one of the charges to a felony, and now she could possibly face prison time. Yandy from Love and Hip Hop was also arrested, as well as Tamika Mallory, who's an activist. They were also out there with the Until Freedom organization. They were also arrested as well. So this man is disgusting. The fact that he's a Black man, and I went on the Kentucky.gov website, and his Black ass just sitting up there astute, like he a good attorney general doing a good work for his kinship, for his kinfolk. And he's not. Like, he's out here cooning. Hopefully that's not anti-Semitic, but I'm sorry.
Big cooning, and fuck him. And this just goes to show y'all, like, just don't go to the polls voting for people that's Black just because they Black. Actually read their policies and know what the fuck they about, because a lot of people probably saw him like, oh, okay, he could be for the people. He ain't for us. Fuck this man. Okay? Fuck this man. Go ahead, Inessa. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not going to stay on that topic too long because I could say a lot of stuff about that. That's ridiculous. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to Candy. Y'all, she let us know because we're still in a Housewives update. Candy let us know on social media that they are filming again. They've started filming again for Housewives. Yes, I'm so interested to find out what type of filming they're doing though, because we are in a pandemic. I don't know how much distancing. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't talk. They're doing because they like to go out to eat and go to parties and all of this. I don't know if they're gonna have on their masks when they together. I don't know, child, but I'm interested to find out how their filming is gonna look. But I'm sure Portia's drama is gonna be captured, as well as other things that have been going on. So this should be an interesting season. I'm excited to find out what's going on.
Did you hear about Sheree?
I did.
So she has corona. She's been holed up in her chateau for weeks now, and I saw the video that she posted. She looks good, but this shit is real. Like, niggas is getting corona. And I don't know. Well, she wasn't even on the show to begin with, but I doubt if they're going to be filming with her after this.
Girl, for real. Yeah, Sheree has COVID. She went on her live and was just basically telling y'all it's real. But you know what? Let me just say this. I'm so sick of celebrities getting on. Because also Jennifer from Basketball Wives, Jennifer Williams from Basketball Wives said that she went on and said that she went and she got tested positive for corona, and she was saying it's real. And I understand that these celebrities are using their platforms to let people know that it's real because a lot of people are just flying by the seat of their pants. But we know it's real. How many people have died from this? Y'all don't need to get on here and tell us that it's real. We know it's real. Just because you out in Atlanta twerking and going to Frost Bistro where Rashida at, and you going to Gold Room and doing all this other stuff without a mask on, hookah bar. And I don't know if Sheree was doing that, but a lot of people in Atlanta, a lot of my fellow old classmates that I went to school with, I see y'all is tripping out there. So I feel like they're getting it. Yes, I feel like they're getting it, and then all of a sudden, or they're doing what they want to do. Then when they get it, they want to come on their live and be like, "Oh, well, it's real." No, it's been real. You should have been in the house.
Exactly, girl. Over the past couple of weekends, like, I feel so bad for thinking this, but I've been seeing my friend. I'm talking about people that I actually love and family members just out. Like, we are not in a pandemic, and I am judging all of you because what the fuck? Like, y'all not supposed to be doing this shit, bro. Like, oh my goodness. Anyway.
No, not at all. So it's crazy. Again, y'all, please wear your mask and don't be out at the club. Y'all need to be whoever is in charge needs to be closing the clubs anyway. That's all. That's a whole nother subject. Lastly, for those of you who love Housewives of Potomac, any Housewives of Potomac fans out there, they are back, and the premiere comes on August 2nd. So please tune in for that.
Can't wait.
I cannot either. Also, I do want to let you guys know that Netflix, if you are trying to watch something on Netflix, y'all know I'm not a really big fan of Netflix, but I do love Nia Long. Nia Long and Omar Epps have a new movie on Netflix called Fatal Affair. It just came out. So if you want to support more Black people magic, please go and support them because I love Nia Long, child. And I love Omar Epps. Omar Epps, y'all, is from Love and Basketball. So he was the main character in that show. Now, for music, I do want to just take the time out to say I'm so sorry about Tamar Braxton, who was rushed to the hospital for an alleged suicide attempt. Please, y'all, let's keep her in our prayers. And all of these celebrities that are literally, they don't have anything to do. They're probably spinning their wheels because they can't tour. They can't go to concerts. They can't go to appearances. They can't make money. Who knows what they have going on? A lot of them, I feel like we might, I don't know. I don't want to call that on anybody's life, but I just want to make sure that we are keeping everybody lifted up. Because even though they didn't, make sure that their money was right, a lot of us ain't making sure our money right either. So let's not judge them all. But Tamar, I love Tamar, and I'm so sad to hear that she is suffering from this. And I hope that she comes through on the other side.
Devastating news. I can't even, when I heard the news, I was like, whoa, like what happened? She is, she was always one of my favorite characters on Braxton Family Values and any show that she was on, because she's just fucking funny and ridiculous. And I just love her personality. So it really was heartbreaking to hear that she had those issues. But homegirl can sing her ass off. I'm talking about sing. She can sing better than all of her sisters. Even the legend, her sister of Toni Braxton. Like, no, wait. Let's not say she can sing better than, but she can blow. Okay, she can blow. So very, very talented, and I wish her the best. Nothing but prayers her way.
Yes, and lastly, y'all, I want to go over some new music that has just dropped. Y'all know I like to go over this new music Friday. DJ Khaled and Drake dropped new music on Friday. The two singles are titled Grease and Popstar. I don't really care for the songs. Honestly, I feel like they could have done a lot better.
You don't like Drake?
I'm sorry.
Oh no, bitch.
Now I will say this is DJ Khaled and not Drake. No, I'm just kidding. I ain't gonna do that. It's Drake and DJ Khaled, so it was a joint effort. So both of y'all, that shit whack. Y'all could have came up with something better. I ain't gonna be listening to that again unless it come up on the. I don't know. I'm gonna skip it every time it come up. But I do want to say August Alsina came out with new music a couple of weeks ago, I think, and I didn't know because New Music Friday didn't mention it. His album, y'all, is called The Product 3 State of Emergency. So now it's making sense as to why he brought the whole Jada entanglement up. But August, you could have also done better. Because I heard a snippet of one of your songs and I don't like that. And y'all, it's 27 songs on his album. And I'm sorry, I don't have time to listen. Dana, have you heard it? Or
I'm over here cracking up at your Virgo ass. We're talking about I don't like it.
You're a Virgo too. Like, go back to the drawing board.
I have not heard it yet. I did have plans on streaming the album to, help bro out, and I still will, but no, I have not heard it. And I wasn't a fan of his to begin with, so I wasn't expecting much. But yeah, no, I haven't heard it.
Well, let me know. I'm not listening. I don't have time to listen to an hour and 36 minutes of what are you listening to, Dana? Anything that you're listening to on your end? Or, it's not a lot of music that's coming out. I guess everybody's focused on the pandemic, but I'm not listening to nothing.
No, I've been reading this week, reading a lot of books. One of my favorite authors, Mary Monroe, I'm reading one of her trilogies right now, finishing that up, and then I'm going to start on another trilogy that she has. But as far as music, nope. Nothing over here.
Well, that's what we got, y'all. If y'all listening to anything, hit us up on social media, like DM us, comment, whatever you need to do. Let me know. And let me know how August Alsina album is, because I'm sure y'all just finding out because I'm telling y'all, no, I'm just kidding. But anyways, that's all I have for the break room.
All right, y'all. Well, Vanessa doesn't know this, and she's about to find out right now, but we're going to talk about The Chi next week because I didn't watch this past week's episode. I'm so sorry, I forgot. Did you want to say something about it real quick, Vanessa, or did you watch?
I did watch. And
Go ahead. I don't mind.
No. We can talk about it next week because the same kind of things are happening. We're still trying to find Keisha and all of that. So this week's episode, and of course, Candy premiered on this week's episode as Duda's wife.
Yeah.
So we got to see a glimpse of her, and hopefully, we start to see a lot of that unravel and her purpose and all of that. So we can definitely talk about it next week because this week's episode is definitely gonna bring up some things so we can go over it then.
All right, cool. Well, thank y'all so much again for listening to us this week. Thank you, Dr. Didi, for coming through and talking with us. Had so much fun talking with her today. Thank you guys so much for listening and sending in your fuck yous. And as always, we'll see you guys next week.
Yes. Bye, y'all. Stay black.
Bye.